about that, so maybe you'd like to address that.
Well, I have my opinions about that, but I guess it depends on whose work you read. There's one or two people who have done some research in that area who have come out reflecting what you're saying, and about a dozen others who have done and come much, much different, more positive for corn. And so, again, you can refute anything you want. You can ascribe to any particular research that you want. Overall, ethanol has, depending on the study, 1.25, 1.3, or 1.7 BTUs yield per BTU invested, whichever one of those you want to look at. But then you look at Lindell and some other folks, and it's a dead wash. But I think the scientific community is pretty comfortable that USDA and DOE have done the work to say it's not that way. It should be 2 or 3 to 1, perhaps, but it's not that way. So we're just thinking that is a step in the right direction. Clearly, ethanol, with all its warts, is still better than gasoline. Gasoline, you get 0.8% of energy out of 1 BTU of energy of fossil fuel. So you're in a net loss situation by definition. It takes money to pump it underground to refine it and all that. So you're getting 80%, you get a 20% loss compared to a 30 to a 70% gain in ethanol. I'll take that. I'll run with that horse any day.
Tim, you have some comments regarding this issue from a biobusiness lens? Mike, go ahead.
I guess I want to make address that not necessarily from a scientific view, actually a personal comment, not from representing the Institute, but if you take a look at corn being grown in Stevens County here, I would much rather see it being processed at the ethanol plant here and that well staying here than it being shipped out. So if you take a look at the energy balance from the gate of that ethanol plant, it shifts perspective greatly.
I guess I'll just make a couple comments, and one is that the world's changing, whether we like it or not. Where we're getting oil today is not where we're going to be getting oil in 10, 15, 20 years, and so that changes the cost of extraction, but that also changes the energy it takes to put into that. So we're seeing the energy balance of gasoline and others drop or get worse, and we're seeing corn ethanol, cellulosics go the other way, and so the economics are crossing, will cross with the help of subsidies and other things, and then also the sustainability questions and things like that will also follow. We don't have an ethanol spill in the Gulf of Mexico right now. I know that's kind of a common phrase these days, but it's true. We need to recognize the good that the corn ethanol business has done for rural communities, will continue to do, and we need to recognize that infrastructure that we built through the help of policies in the state of Minnesota and elsewhere is a great thing to build off of when we're looking at next generation fuels, chemicals, materials, and so I'll leave it at that.
Can I pipe it?
Yeah, I was looking. I think I saw the USDA shows a 60% yield gain in BTUs per BTU put in. And a lot of these analyses were done on data from ethanol plants back in 2004 or 2005. And today's ethanol plant is 30% more efficient than they were a couple, 3 years ago. It used to be, it takes 32,000 BTU per gallon of ethanol produced, and now the normal plant is 26,000 BTU per gallon of ethanol, or 28,000. So they're significantly more efficient. And like Tim just elaborated on, the cost of extracting gasoline and oil, well, they're using old numbers too, and the cheap oil is going away. If you compare to what it costs to extract oil out of tar sands or something like this. So the dynamics, the data is old. There's like 98% of the research says you're energy positive on ethanol. 2% of the research says, oh no, it's break even or losing. And it seems to me the press loves the negative and despite overwhelming positive. And from a personal perspective, I'm an example of bringing employment to rural Minnesota. I work at an ethanol plant. I'm an engineer at an ethanol plant. And my taxes, my kids are going to Benson High School. My taxes are supporting the Benson Police Department and helping to pay for water in the town. And, you know, my kids are in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and 4-H, and we go to church there. And, you know, so I mean, you have spending your dollars locally, bringing people into the local rural economy is huge, and ethanol does that. And when we're running biomass, when we're running our gasifier, we're incentivizing a local guy to buy a grinder, and he has a semi, and you know, it's more local business. So if we're blending E85 at our plant, we have a blender pump, and shipping it to the gas station kitty corner from my house, and we're running our gasifier, we're buying our heat energy from Swift County, buying our corn from the kids, folks that my daughter goes to school with, and, you know, whatnot, the local farmers, and we're making ethanol. We blend that ethanol right there on site, and it goes to the gas station right there in my town. So you talk about keeping your energy dollars local. I mean, that's where biofuels, you know, that's what it's all about. Keeping that $300 billion a year that we undermine our economy with by shipping it out, keeping it here. That's pretty cool.